All right, hi everybody. This is the Heroes of Jordoba. We're doing actual play, 5th edition adventure. If you're one of my patrons, I sent you out the draft of the adventure so that you can follow along. And it's going to take a moment because I have to mute the site, and then I've done that. So we're ready to go here. And a lot of the patrons are going to have the adventure guideline sitting here and ready to go. Unfortunately, if you didn't see the thing, obviously you can't sign up now and get the PDF because we're already gaming, and I'm not going to be able to do that. So, if you want to try this, you could watch the video later, however you want to do it. The address of the Patreon is patreon.com/Uncle Matt, and also please subscribe to the channel. And with that, let's introduce our players and their characters. We have Alla Fedorova, and you are playing.
I'm playing Slate, an Earth Genasi barbarian.
And we have Emily.
Ho Spriggity. My name is Zephna, also known as Backpack, also known as Jiglet.
Yeah, you've had a few different names.
Yeah.
We have Ian.
I am Kurzim, the virtuous cleric of Saint Muriel, the last bastion of defense against chaos.
And then we have, and that's going just without any remarks by anybody. And we'll go to Gabe.
I'm playing Dane. Hello. Okay.
All right. So there's Dane. This is what Dane looks like.
Dane, the sometime dwarf, but current raccoon.
And then
and I'm a warlock. Sorry.
Behind Dane, we have Zach.
Oh, hi.
And Zach is playing.
I'm Albrecht, the architect, a humble craftsman.
And then finally, of course, we have me, and no one's interested in that. So we're going to move on to the adventure, which I'm still trying to think of a good name for. Heart of Darkness would have been perfect, but it's taken.
How about like the liver of darkness?
Yeah,
you know?
I pick some other organ, the lungs of darkness.
There we go.
Pituitary gland.
Yeah, the pancreas of darkness.
There we go. That's perfect.
All right, so you guys are currently still in the city, and that is where you have purchased yourselves a Triceratops, and so here you are with your Triceratops in the city, and you've been told that there is a curse of some sort of disease that is affecting villages that are down the Huazilisi Basht, the Huazilisi River. And so the place that you're headed for is called Oba, and that's the village down there. Now, it would be easier to go down the river, except that you have got the Triceratops. So you are at present getting ready to start off on foot.
Wait. Oh, you mean on the Triceratops' foot?
Well, you don't all fit on the Triceratops, but you can fit like 3 people on the Triceratops.
Were we able to find any scrolls by any chance?
No, the only stuff you were able to get a hold of some magic weapons, but other than that, no.
Not even at a premium, we couldn't find a scroll of water breathing.
I don't know. How much would you be willing to bid for a scroll of water breathing if you were to just send some people running around?
If not even to buy a scroll, maybe to just rent a spellbook from some kindly wizard for a few hours.
Under supervision.
Under supervision, yes. I have book. I want to be using book at some point. I like. Yeah.
All right. Well, you can find a scroll of water breathing for 500 gold pieces.
Okay. It is very steep price, but I will for you friends I will pay for the scroll.
Oh, Jim Wampler, I'm sorry, I did not send you a copy of the thing.
You're always stiffing Jim Wampler.
I am stiffing him, and it's because he's not in my same list of patrons, and so I have to remember to send him this out, and this time I forgot him and Zach. I've got them on a little separate list. But Alberta has it. Alberta, if you can figure out a way to email it to Jim, I think the file's too big, but
Skeeter could send it to him, couldn't he?
Skeeter or Alberta or any of the people that are on there. Anyway, we will keep moving along. So you guys are able to find your scroll of water breathing, and then
I'll pay for it.
You look around and nobody has a boat that is capable of shipping a Triceratops, even a well-behaved Triceratops. Your Triceratops that you got for cheap is really poorly trained, and you have discovered that at the expense of 20 gold pieces, Allah, because you were driving at the time that it scooped up a cart and pushed it to the side.
It also seems to be attached to us by a fungus of some kind.
What, in the picture?
How?
Yeah.
That's a saddle.
I thought it was like a spotted fungus.
No, it's I had to use epoxy putty to make the base stand up on the Triceratops, because it's not an RPG minifigure. It's a toy dinosaur.
Why didn't you just buy a Triceratops saddle?
Because they don't sell them in the extra super small size.
Only in life size.
How deep is that river?
The river is about average river depth, about 30 feet.
All right, and is it like super muddy at the bottom, or is it?
It's very, very muddy at the bottom. Yes.
So
So Dane needs to copy that water breathing spell. Why don't we just have the Triceratops pull a boat up the river?
yeah,
With water
I
breathing.
have speak with animals.
Okay.
Nice.
So actually, I'm quite wondering about how Triceratops tastes.
Uh-huh.
No.
No, no.
Well, could I would like to.
Find some restaurant or something. This Triceratops is not for eating. It is for hauling.
I just want to ask him, the Triceratops, a couple of questions.
Okay. He will do his best to answer using his walnut-sized brain.
A question, Mr. Triceratops. Do you have a name besides Triceratops?
Even that's not my name.
Oh, what is your name?
Me.
Meat?
Me.
Me. Him.
Me. Oh, I thought you said meat, because I was going to say that's pretty good.
Hearing what she wants to hear.
So I'm wondering, actually, would you be willing to trade? I'm wondering if you would let me taste just the very tip of your tail, and in exchange, of course, I will let you taste my pinky toe.
No,
what
meat.
the hell is going on with this halfling?
Ick yuck, says the Triceratops.
No meat. Okay.
Because they are, in point of fact, vegetarians. Which is a
But no
word.
curiosity, apparently. Oh.
Not about sacrificing
Okay, well-
part of itself for someone else to eat. That seems like a terrible
What
plan.
about just a little bit of your tail?
You know, accidents could happen in the jungle, and then you can eat all you want.
Yeah.
This is Port Town. I'm sure there is food catering to every whatever you are. I don't know. Very confusing.
Okay, so
But,
the Triceratops
raccoon.
begins drinking water out of the river, and there's this sort of flow of Triceratops drool going down the river from it.
I see. Well, yes. So, okay, moving on. Another question
So-
for you.
So Dane, you can get water breathing copied in, right? And you
yes, no
can use
problem.
one on the Triceratops.
It takes me, I think, a few hours to copy in. I have money for supplies for the actual copying. If you have,
I'll
so
pay
kindly
for-
to buy
yeah.
the scroll. Thank you so
Done.
much.
Okay.
Uh,
Emily, what was your second question? Because
Was it?
without some sort of help with this Triceratops, you're not going to be able to get it anywhere.
Oh, yes. I'm wondering if he's able to pull a raft or a boat up the river.
Yes.
Oh, wow. And
Ask him if he's interested in being able to walk on the bottom of the water for a really long time.
and how would you like, if there was no physical impairment at all to your breathing and whatnot, to take a stroll on the bottom of the river
Tell him
for a
there
very long
there are
time?
tasty leaves down there.
Use small words.
Tasty leaves
Oh.
down there.
Okay, it says, and begins to walk into the water.
Tell it to wait.
Wait, hold on.
Okay, it stops.
We need to get all hooked up and situated first of all.
Okay.
So I'm wondering, do we have reins for this guy or anything, or some kind of way of?
I think we all have basic
directing
riding
him?
accoutrements, but I don't think we yet have raft to drag behind him. Key part of plan. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't speak Triceratops, but
We
assuming you're
need to.
sure.
You gotta just keep him here relaxing, and we'll go find a raft.
Okay, how about the Triceratop massage? Eh?
What is the massage?
And I'll start like rubbing his shoulder muscles like
With her
this.
teeth.
That's right, we are tenderizing the meat.
All right, so he decides that he'll lie down for a little bit,
Sounds like a great plan.
and then what? You guys were going to go out and buy an emergency raft or something like that.
We're gonna look for a raft for sale or rent.
Or a craftsman could build one, perhaps.
We don't have that kind of
Probably
time.
not in the timeline we have.
Okay, but I had a question. I thought we had 2 of these.
No, you just have one.
We had to, but one of them disappeared.
Okay.
I did
So-
write down 2, but I'm just gonna change that to 1.
Yep, change it.
All
To
right. So we have one because we okay. So we have one.
I already
We-
shipped the other one back to Jordoba.
What do we need a raft for? Why don't we just ride the Triceratops?
Only 3 of us can ride, and this way the raft can carry the rest of us on the water, and the Triceratops can walk.
To be fair, though,
Want to buy. I think Matt doesn't want to buy 2 toys because it seems like Triceratopses are pretty plentiful around here. We could just buy another one that's better trained.
Now this is the only one that was available.
How
how fast is Triceratops? I mean, could not? There are
Man,
5 of us.
there are like thousands and thousands of starving adventurers across the globe who don't have a Triceratops, who are watching you guys right now with big wide eyes like an orphan outside the window of a restaurant, and
I did not bring this up. I was content with what you were giving us.
We're dwarves. We're in a forest. We make a raft in like 8 seconds. Like we have axes. There's wood. Like this can't be.
I'd like to buy like a boat. Yeah.
Like a boat, an actual boat, not something Albrecht put together out of wood in the jungle, because I'm just not sure that's going to actually float.
No.
All right. Well, you're able to buy a boat, and you find one for 50 gold pieces.
Is it big enough? I mean, we want one that has.
Or
an
you've got
enclosed space.
or you've got the slightly damaged cart, that Ala drove the Triceratops into.
That's ours now.
It'll float because it's wood.
But we want like a big flat river boat with like some railings and a covered spot. We want a nice boat.
Well, okay. Well, a nice boat will cost you like 200 gold.
Done.
Okay, so you get yourself a nice boat. It's got like a nice shaded awning on it.
Yeah,
It has railings. Okay, and they'll even throw in a giant iron hook, a giant iron ring at the front that'll let you attach your Triceratops reins to.
Oh, that's perfect. And then we need some chains to be able to get the Triceratops to pull it.
Okay, they'll throw those in too.
Oh, perfect.
I'm surprised you didn't ask to buy some people to like fan you while you're going on this barge expedition.
Right.
Into the jungle.
He's got a high class taste here.
What's the price for a linen suit or other marks of imperialism that I could?
Maybe like a little hat.
Yeah, well, pith helmet I think is the way to go on that one.
Oh. All right.
Okay.
So we can water breathe this thing every day and just have it pull us.
Okay. So you attach the chains to the Triceratops, launch the raft, give the Triceratops a water-breathing potion.
Well, he's gonna cast it on him.
He's going to cast it on him.
Cast his ritual.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't even use a spell slot. Well done.
Okay. So the Triceratops heads into the river, and it disappears underwater.
Well, I think we need our halfling is crazy enough to get a ritual cast water breathing on her to go down there and guide him.
Oh,
I
sure.
cast that as well. She can ride on those.
All right, well, actually, it does start moving in the correct direction. You guys, however, are headed directly for one of the river galleys that go up and down. So it's like a 50-foot long, narrow boat with sails, and it's lined with about 50 rowers to a side, and they're frantically trying to wave you guys off.
So we will pull on the right chain because we do it like reins, right? Pull on the right chain to let Backpack know to turn us to the right.
And I will use Gust to kind of give us like side slip, just to try and get us a little bit off course.
Okay, that's doing pretty much nothing.
Bootstraps.
Yeah, that, like I said, that's doing pretty much nothing.
It's helping.
Telling the dinosaur in its own language to help us should help.
Yeah.
Does water breathing allow you to speak underwater?
Well, if you don't,
Probably not.
Survey
I
says
think you could. But
Survey says ban.
no.
Let's take a look here at water breathing, because I'm excited to know.
I'm pretty sure that this has never come up. This particular situation.
The survival of 100 galley rowers probably depends on it.
They retain their normal rate of respiration. They breathe underwater until the spell ends. So if you can breathe, you can talk.
Tell that to a ferret.
There's probably some sort of DM like
ferret does
can...
verbal communication. It does. As long as you can respirate, you can phonate. That's like the scientific fact of it. You can vibrate your vocal folds.
Okay, you vibrate. Okay, so down under 30 feet under the water, Backpack vibrates her vocal cords and exhales, and you guys see a couple of halfling size bubbles. They're half the size of normal bubbles. Pop on the surface. And meanwhile, you get closer to the galley. You're now about halfway there.
Is the galley moving, or is it held still?
No, it's moored right now. They were getting ready to go.
All right, so we'll let some. I have a 10-foot pole. Do we have any other 10-foot poles? We're gonna slack up some chain, so there's chain slack, and then as we get close, just kind of like guide our way across.
How are you going to slack up the chain?
Because we have 2 pieces.
You're going to pull forward on the chain, and then you'll have it. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
So we move more quickly.
Yeah.
And then when we get close, we'll just like push
ourselves off their boat.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get up there, and they're looking at you like you're absolutely insane because your boat is way, way smaller than theirs. And then you begin fending off with their boat, and really you discover that all you really have to do is hold your pole against the side of their ship, and yours doesn't stop because you've got the mass of the Triceratops pulling in. So you actually manage to push them out of the way in what looks like an astounding violation of the laws of physics. And then you carry onward down the river, and then after about 2 hours, Me decides that he's hungry and goes up the side of the river, and he's headed towards some grass that's about 50 feet inland.
So were there no tasty, river weeds and whatnot on the bottom?
Not enough for him to really graze on.
Okay, well, can I roll animal handling to convince him otherwise that we'll feed him,
You can use
Oh.
animal handling to get him back into the river for a while.
You mean
Tell him we know a better spot for grass. That we know the best spot for grass.
Okay, I will tell him about that. There is a meadow of pure and luscious grass, thick and juicy, ripe and wholesome, just waiting for you, just up the bend.
Okay, so he decides that the walnut brain is just able to grasp the concept of delayed gratification, and so he begins walking. He's sort of splashing along the edge. So your boat's getting really close to beaching. In fact, at one point it does get stuck in the mud, but then it just continues going, plowing a deep furrow of mud until it makes its way back
we'll
into
keep
the water.
pulling our way in and like release some slack on chain so we can.
Okay. So it takes about 4 days of this to get to the place where you're supposed to turn upriver, up a tributary. It's about 3 times as long as it should have, and you're all exhausted. But at least because you had the awning over the top of the boat, you're not particularly hot. So there is that.
I, on the other hand, am shriveled up prune.
Yes. Yeah. You.
Very
Look,
uncomfortable.
You look
Yeah.
like you've been spending most of your time underwater for 5 days.
At least there weren't piranhas.
It's true. Not in the big river.
Not yet.
They're called quippers in the game, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I have the page marked.
No big deal.
They're
Big deal.
quite tasty if you can catch them, actually.
Piranhas are?
Yeah.
They
They're
didn't
so
look like.
tiny. There's not a lot of meat on them.
I was
No,
about to
they're
say
they're
they are-
mostly bones. But
they
actually,
are not
yeah,
to be eaten.
I did go fishing for piranhas in Peru one time. We threw them in the bottom of the canoe, and they're all snapping at your bare feet. It's fun.
that's like creepy as hell.
It's horrible. But that's what I'm imagining here.
All right, so yeah, well, you haven't run into any problems with piranhas in the big river, and you did not roll an encounter with an elasmosaurus or a plesiosaurus or anything like that. So you made it this far. And
I think they were too surprised by an underwater triceratops to act.
yeah, well, I mean that's true.
What
They'd
the-
probably be like, "What the actual fuck?" All right, so you guys turn upriver toward Oba, and the okay, sorry, I was just reading to check whether there was anything at this particular juncture of the river, but there's not. Okay, so you head north, and you heard that it was about 9 miles upriver this way to the village, and so that's going to be one encounter during that day, because part of the fun of this is that I have an encounter table.
Oh boy.
Super excited.
I am. You should be too.
We do need to somehow find a fantastic meadow, by the way, because, we want to keep this guy happy.
Well, he forgot about that particular.
Good, great,
I was gonna say.
wonderful.
As long as you're actually feeding him, you can lie to him about the meadow, and then he'll forget about it, and he'll forget about it over and over and over again. So that actually did not turn out to be part of the problem. The problem is usually him continually trying to steer out of the river. And once he almost capsized you because he decided to turn backward for a while, and the chain caught. But since Ian had been holding it slack, it didn't turn out to be a big problem.
It's just like riding a donkey cart.
There you go.
And the water lessens your chance of explosions. So this is a win-win for me.
Yeah, I mean, you've virtually been in this situation before.
Wait a sec. That was a problem for you before?
Not me, but the people behind me suffered. I've made restitution. Right, Dane?
Eh,
According to the king, I've made restitution.
That's accurate.
You did make
Ish.
restitution. That was a great big thing. Okay, now I'm going to roll on my encounter table, and I'm betting it's going to be something lame, but maybe it'll be
Piranhas.
something cool, like a boat full of liches or something like that.
What? We just left the
Ah.
city full of liches.
Can we have a second before you finish your roll? Do you need to read something?
No, I'm all
Okay.
good to go.
All right.
You find a boat is headed toward you, and it is powered by sails, and there are 4 people in it. All of them are wearing plate mail.
I'll wave.
We aren't going to give. Are we still on the river? Or are we out of the river at this
No,
point?
this is just as you're making the turn upriver toward Oba, and so the current. Now you're going against the current. Actually, you have been before, come to think of it, so that's not a huge thing. The current is a little bit stronger here than it was in the large river, in the sense that it's moving a little faster. And so these guys are coming downriver from the village, and so they're coming from where you're going to, and they all wave at you.
How much space is there going to be between us?
Oh, I mean, it's not a small river. It's maybe 40 feet wide.
Do they have any weapons out?
No.
All right. Let's...
Hail! And just wave.
Hail! You don't happen to have a raise dead spell, do you?
How long ago did they die?
6 days.
If it was sooner, we could have helped you.
Okay. Well, good luck.
You
Wait,
too.
What happened to you?
Well, there's a curse, and so we, being brave adventurers, went looking for the source of the curse with our 6 friends, and he sort of gestures to a big canvas-covered heap in the middle of their deck, and he says, "Unfortunately, it didn't go very well. We were attacked by purple apes." And they killed most of our companions. Luckily, we were able to frighten them off at the end there, and stack our companions onto our mounts and escape.
So you know where the temple is? Did you get that far?
Not to the one. I mean, it's not. It's the purple apes were at a temple, but we don't think that's the source of the curse.
You discovered any vulnerabilities to these purple apes?
You mean grapes?
Yes, swords. If you shove a sword through them, they die.
Sticking them with the pointy end.
Yeah.
I don't know that works. Sometimes it doesn't.
I look at my morning star angrily.
It's not a morning star, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it is a morning star. It's named axe. Okay.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where just because I'm a dwarf, everyone just sees an axe when I'm holding a morning star.
All right. So for anyone who's watching, they're located at number 1 on the overland map. All right.
So are you all of the same order?
Yes. We were. In fact, we're all of the order.
Which order?
The order of Hibastus.
Do I recognize Hibascus or Hibiscus or?
No, it's probably some local thing. You guys got teleported here in the first place, so you're not necessarily familiar with all of the knightly orders that would be here.
Are you interested in accompanying us so that we
Oh.
can lift the curse and your friends will be able to be raised?
Not just no, but hell no. No, thank you. No, and no.
All right. I see you're still using sails. So plebeian.
Yeah, we're never ever going back here ever.
Well, good luck.
Thank
It
you.
was nice meeting y'all. Just good luck.
I hope your
Thank
friends get better.
They all look sort of dolefully at the canvas-covered pile as they drift forward. And right at that point, you have to start paying attention again because the Triceratops starts trying to get out of the river, and so you have to persuade him back in with promises of meadows up ahead.
Well, we can do the fishing with a carrot too. I think.
Yeah, you haven't tried that.
We could easily rig up a line and a couple carrots.
But
Well,
you do realize that would probably float.
Not
We
if
put a rock
tried.
on it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
we've never been fishing. Like, come on,
Yeah,
add a sinker. Like,
We tie a rock to the carrot, to the string, to our stick.
no, rock to rope to carrot, so that you can.
Jake has a good point that it would have to be a big ass carrot, but all right. So you move along, continuing up the river. By the way, what food have you brought with you, Ala? What have you got on your character sheet?
Just regular rations.
You have rations on the character sheet. Emily, any rations on the character sheet?
Yes, I have rations.
Ian,
I do, but I'm only creating food and water for bland food while we're doing this.
okay. Dane,
I have rations written on character sheets. They're probably expired at this point because they're my original rations.
well, no, they'll still count. I'll assume that you
Okay.
keep replenishing them. So
I assume I just dug something out of the trash.
okay, Ian. Oh, that's right. You can. Albrecht have any rations on his character sheet?
I have 24 days of rations and 50. It just says rum. I don't know
50 rum.
what
50 rum.
Maybe
it is. Just
maybe it's 50 proof. Let's see. The lower the proof goes, the more alcohol, right? So
no. It's
no, it's the other way around. Yeah. Okay. So 200 proof is like pure ethanol.
Proof rum is 25% alcohol. So essentially, you can choose. Either I have 50 doses of rum or I have poison on me.
50 doses of rum? Is that what?
Because it's for medicinal purposes.
Yeah, the bartender. I need 6 doses of rum, please.
All right. So you move on, and you go further in, and let me see whether there's an encounter. Almost, no. And then one more try, and no. All right. So you've gotten about 9 miles up the river over the course of the day at using Triceratops power, and you find a small village at the edge of the water, and so that must be the village of Oba. Is this where you're gonna stop, and or are you gonna keep going up the river?
What do we know about this village?
I mean, we could stop. We might as well get some fresh provisions and all that nonsense.
Okay. All right. So here you are. You pull your Triceratops up to the edge, which is something that you've gotten kind of skilled at so far. And we need something that doesn't do quite so. All right, so here you are. You are in the village of Oba, and so you march in with your Triceratops.
Well, we want to let the Triceratops graze somewhere if possible.
Okay, yeah, he's so he heads over to the crops that are outside the village.
How big are the crops?
It looks like they're growing wheat. It looks like larger than normal wheat. A lot of villages do have much larger, much more soil fertility and larger plants than one would expect, because they tend to build villages in the areas that are kind of magically fertile like that, and then in between those areas, it's not really so great, which is the reason why villages tend to be really scattered.
May I attempt to guide him away from there?
Yes, please.
Okay. How are you going to attempt that? you're just gonna bash on him with a stick, or
I'm gonna use that stick they gave us.
okay. All right, so you bash on him with the steering stick. Roll a d20
Do you want animal handling?
if you have it.
I do.
Okay. Because you could also use a charisma check for bashing someone with a stick.
Well, I prefer.
How charmingly you bash them.
I prefer.
On charisma anyway.
I have 15.
Okay. So it turns away from the crops and starts continuing to walk toward the jungle.
This thing is terrible. Little parking brake. I will dangle a carrot. We had those bushels of carrots. I'll dangle a carrot.
You had bushels of carrots.
They were given to us when we had 2 triceratops.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, so yeah, he comes over and heads toward your bushels of carrots.
All right, and we will just keep leading him.
Are you just gonna like angle it so he just keeps walking in a circle to get
That's
the
actually
carrot?
it's not a bad idea. But do you want to tell him it's nap time or something? I don't know.
He does have to eat. You do actually have to feed him.
Well, then someone else lead him around, and we'll see if we can buy one of their crops, like fields, so that he can eat it.
Okay, I'll lead him around because I don't want you hitting him with no sticks anyway. Him and I
I'm
have
gonna
gotten to be we're close now. We're boys.
I can hit him with the sharp stick. You were asking if you could eat him, so this is
Oh,
acceptable.
but I asked his permission to taste the end of his tail, which has no nerve endings anyways.
How do you
And
know
I
that?
was going to
Tail works.
exchange my pinky toe for it as well. This is a fair and honest exchange.
For all you know, that's where his brain is.
Seriously, it's small enough to be there.
All right, so Backpack begins leading your Triceratops in a big circle around the village, in sort of what looks kind of like a victory or a rival procession. And so while that's going on, you're able to go into the village, and you meet up with the people in the village. A guy comes up to you, and he sees you walking around in circles. And then he immediately walks over to Slate, assuming that she must be the leader of the party, since despite the fact that she sheds dust everywhere, is still the tallest of everyone else. And
Probably mud at this point because it's so humid in the jungle.
yeah.
Just dripping mud.
Yeah, so instead of sweating, you've just got like little, lines of dirt coming down. So he comes up to you and he says, aha, I hope that you are noble rescuers for our village.
Yeah.
What's wrong with your village?
All right,
Yeah,
so
we could be.
Curzon comes over and joins the conversation. The entire area has been struck with a kind of strange blighting of the crops and everything around here. There's mild poison in almost every kind of food that's being grown around here. So we sent most of our people down to the river to fish to stay alive.
So all of the vegetation is
Mildly poisoned.
What's it? Like what? How mildly?
Well, some people get sick and some people suffer hallucinations.
After ingesting how much? Though?
Make sure our Triceratops does not eat this because we don't want it vomiting or hallucinating. So
I think hallucinating would be great with the Triceratops.
Yeah, it would be amazing. I mean, where's
Yeah.
just Steve when we need him?
Yeah, really, just Steve could have taken care of that.
He's dead.
He's dead, Jim.
I need to make a little shelf with all of the character
All the
miniatures
dead
of the dead ones.
That's terrible.
I don't know. I like that idea.
I think we don't have that many. I think we just have 3 so
I think
far,
it's
right?
3, 2 from Alla, 1
Yeah.
from you.
Yeah.
Could have been worse.
We're gonna see if we can get it worse. So what do you do?
Oh.
I mean, they're
what do you do? You have no idea what the cause is? Like, why do you need a hero to fix this?
well,
Not a good soil
it's
scientist.
it's someone needs to look into it. I mean, we're having that problem here, and then the village of Eftahosh up in the north east, and the village of Aya in the northwest also.
Can I pull out the map that we were given and have him point out these locations on the map?
Yeah, your map looks like. I'll sketch it for you. All right, so here's the main river, the Huazalisi Basht, and you guys came up this little tributary like this. Okay,
I don't
That's-
think we can actually see.
that's where Oba
Yeah,
is.
it's like whited out. Oh, there we go.
Is that better? It's because.
Oh yeah, there goes. Yeah.
There.
All right.
All right. So, and what
So
other?
this is the tributary that goes up. All right.
Okay.
And then there's also sort of like this. Just writing.
Probably be easier if you just emailed all of your notes.
It would, yeah. That would be a lot easier for both of us, really. All right. So this is the map, and so that's showing the relative location of the other two villages. Now, in between Oba and the other two, there's mostly jungle, except that there are various breaks in the jungle and so on. Where people can could go. So you wouldn't necessarily, if you wanted to go to one of the other villages, you wouldn't necessarily be going directly through overhead jungle canopy.
So, is
Did this-
there
Go ahead.
is there a presumed locus of this poisoning in the center of those three spots?
Well, if you were to,
Is it is in the middle?
Triangulate.
Yeah.
all right, so if you're going to triangulate, if you do a pure triangulation, it would be right here where X marks the spot.
Yeah.
So-
and we're asking, like, is there anything there? Anything suspicious? We'll ask about that.
Well, he says, okay, it's hard to tell because we're not so used to using maps, but I guess one thing that might be around there, there is an ancient temple there, and some other very polite, he looks at your Triceratops for a second, some very polite adventurers did come, and they tried to fight the purple apes, but things didn't go well for them. And in fact, they departed very recently, and they some of them were hallucinating, thinking that there were several dead people under a canvas that they had that contained lots of fruit. But we couldn't.
They. You know anything about the purple apes?
They're purple. They are larger than people, and they eat people.
They sound fun.
So what you're saying is that they are
Some of them have a slight horn in the forehead.
one-horned giant purple people eaters.
Indeed.
And I hear that they have a vulnerability to swords.
They have a vulnerability to swords. Also, I mean, if you were able to get them right in the eye, then
They have but one eye.
they do. They have but one eye.
Do they fly?
No.
No.
That's why they're sometimes called lesser purple apes.
Well, this seems as though it is a serious problem.
So where we were heading, is it along that direction towards the temple that we're after?
Well, the river goes most of the way to the temple, but it
But is that-
actually goes through some fairly dangerous area to get there. It's actually easier to leave. It's actually easier to follow the trail that goes northward.
And is that the temple that we believe the curse is out of, like, is based in?
Nobody knows where it is. You asked me what's the central triangulation, and the only thing I can think of, I mean, what's right there in the middle of that triangulation, let's see, would be hang on a second. Yeah, I mean, there's a crossroad that has 4 pillars standing at it that would be at the center point, maybe, of that triangulation. But I haven't heard of anything. I mean, that's just 4 pillars, and the road goes through them.
All right. So now,
By the way, if you ever go there, you'd need to make a sacrifice to the goddess of crossroads, or else you can end up on the wrong road when you go through there.
what kind of sacrifices does she like?
Anything.
Anything at all?
Just as long as you're saying is making this sacrifice to the. She's not very picky, the goddess of crossroads, unless you don't leave anything at all, in which case you can end up in real trouble.
All right. So Matt, when we left though for looking for this curse that we were instructed by, does that area jive with what we were looking for?
Yes, but I mean, the information that you got in the city was that there was some sort of disease, and now you're getting better information about what it is that says that I decided not to run you through the Tomb of Annihilation.
All right, I like all signs point to this being worse, I bet. But anyways, okay, I will.
It's not my Triceratops, monkey boy.
I will go talk to me.
Okay. All right, he's walking around in a big circle.
I will wave my arms in front of him and say, "Stop for food." And I will cast create food in front of him.
Okay. He stops and he begins eating the tofu.
It should be enough for 5 steeds. So hopefully that's enough for him.
Yeah, that's just enough to fill him up.
So I can do it again if he needs it.
Okay. No, he'll be full after that. That's I assume that's how you've been feeding him, basically. So
I guess so.
I was spoiling him. Sorry, I was sneaking him carrots out of the bushels.
yeah, he's a little fatter than he should be. Which is what happens when you have a pet and you give them snacks over and above what they're supposed to eat.
Yeah, this is a real.
I figured
Actually, that they, this is what killed the dinosaurs. Is that too many people just gave them snacks.
Well, and really, what kills the dinosaurs is that Slate's been trying to feed it copper pieces.
I thought it would help it stick to the bottom of the river better.
All right, we got to find some people and not die.
It does
Well,
explain. It does explain why the Triceratops poop has copper pieces in it, though. For a while, you really thought you were onto something.
We want to take the Triceratops or not? I think we do, because otherwise Matt's gonna find an excuse to get rid of it. So we're taking it with us, I guess, unless somebody. It's a bad idea.
It's got
No,
a
I
big
think
horn.
I think we leave the boat and take the road.
All right.
Yeah.
So we head over there. If we get to the crossroads, you have to leave a sacrifice. We're gonna look for this temple, and we're gonna not die. Got it?
Got it.
I like that part of playing especially.
All right.
That's probably the best plan you've had so far.
Yeah, none of Albrecht's prior plans, have had anything to do with not dying.
But every single one has resulted in not dying for
It's true.
me.
It's true, and knighthood in one case, and
You've spent a lot of time hiding in your defense.
Hiding is part of not dying. It's one of the essential steps. I've tried to explain that to you, Father, many times.
It's just one part of the plan, right?
Precisely. Speaking of hiding, I think that we will be trundling to through the forest in a place of apes and people eaters, and therefore we should have a satellite group. We should have whoever is up top the Triceratops to boldly stride, heavily armored, while secretly and surreptitiously surrounding them a strike force that was to lead in the apes, and then fall upon them as they attempt to attack.
Why don't we
whatever-
make it a straw dummy atop the Triceratops, and we all be on the ground stealthily?
I'll totally ride on top, but we
I'm
need someone
gonna
to drive it.
Of course you would.
The purple
You-
apes eat people, right? They do eat people. That's a known thing.
It's a known
So-
thing, yes.
So if we could just pick some,
Well,
like
we
some-
didn't see the state of the bodies of those other adventuring parties. Maybe they were like not actually eaten, but just
He said
dead.
They were
that's-
just fruit.
Yeah, this guy said that they were just fruit.
maybe the
Piles of fruit.
perpetrators attack and they replace you with fruit.
All right, let's.
And then the Triceratops will eat our fruit bodies.
I've so.
Oh
we
yeah,
should
you don't
put-
want to be turned into fruit near the Triceratops.
So let's prepare for both eventualities. We'll create a straw dummy and place it atop the Triceratops. Place an animal trap inside the straw dummy, and some meat in there too, so it'll smell like meat.
Okay.
Then we will go surreptitiously behind it.
It's like a couple days to like get there.
Yeah, I've got a little hex map, and you're traveling each hex is 3 miles, and you are able to cover about 9 miles in a day. All right. Now you have so let me understand it. You've got your set up here with your straw dummy.
Exactly.
Oh, I almost spit taked all of there.
It was pretty good. I was like, yep, but that's the straw dummy.
All right, so yeah, part of the job of being a DM is to anticipate your players.
You were like, I'm gonna need straw dummies.
I'm going to need a straw dummy figure, and so there's the straw dummy figure. And what I am looking for though is my little trees. I made some more trees just to convey that jungle atmosphere.
You better tell that Triceratops that eating anything around here is going to kill him.
In that case, we better keep him constantly supplied with tofu and carrots.
Anything about tofu, yeah, except tofu. The tofu is good. Make sure he knows.
It's tempeh.
But if he dies, isn't that just all the easier to eat him?
Well, I don't want him to
guys would have some
die.
food.
I just want to taste him. I don't want to eat it, kill him.
But I can't hit him with a hook.
No,
That was specifically
cruel
made?
punishment.
What?
Not unless you offer a fair trade in return, such as he can also hit you with a hook or a stick.
So
See?
I feed him. That's the fair trade.
Here's what we'll do. Here's what we'll do. We'll take a brief 7-minute break back around at the hour. You guys can start making your way into the jungle, because it sounds like you've basically got the plan going, and so you're ready to go. So we'll move on forward then. All right.
This is a terrible plan.
Quick break.
It's a plan.
I think
It is
It's
a
a-
plan.
it's a good plan. Are you you're up there also, Ian?
I don't think so. I don't know what I am going
There's
to.
somebody up there.
So you're stealthy. You should be in front, and that way you can talk to the Triceratops still.
I mean, unless somebody else has some kind of buff, I got hit points and stuff.
I can't cast Pass Without Trace, so we'll be stealthier. But we're also with the Triceratops, so
That would be awesome if you cast Pass Without Trace on the
On
Triceratops.
him. Yes. It'll just. Or does anyone have invisibility and make him invisible, like an invisible giant? And it would be super scary.
Okay. I will
I
be
don't-
right back. I think this plan requires at least one more drink.
Another beard.
Yes.
please give
At
me
least one more beard.
I'm gonna need another. But if the rest of us need additional stealth to pull off our strike force maneuver, at least we'll be super stealthy that way.
This seems early though. Like this is we're 3 days away.
Yeah, probably.
I just think we're gonna go through hexes, and the hexes probably have a random encounter table.
Are you metagaming this?
No, I like my dwarf has probably been through a dangerous wilderness before, right?
A hex crawl? I've done hex crawls before. In approximately a mile, we'll be rolling on a random encounter.
Translate into your alignment tone. We will be entering dangerous territory full of purple people eaters. Every day, chance of being set upon by hominids of royal hue.
Do you see that dark line ahead of us? Once we cross that, we're bound for treacherous rolls.
Here you go.
Oh my goodness.
This is how we die.
No, stick to the plan, Allah.
I'm 100% on the plan.
That wasn't the plan?
Plan is don't die. Didn't you hear me?
Step 1 of the plan is don't
know,
die.
It's okay. Dying is good for the heart. You know?
I don't know about
Okay, whose hearts exactly? Because I don't think that makes sense.
Woodpecker. You
Just
okay?
trust me. I know what I'm talking about.
Are you just waiting for us to die so you can eat us too?
Well, you know, I've wondered about dwarves before.
Rocks.
Not rocks, dwarves.
So
Not-
Allah's safe.
All is safe. I'm not really that interested in eating mud, although I do hear that it actually is very purifying and detoxifying. So if I eat a dwarf and it makes me sick, maybe I'll have a sip of Allah.
I'm very disturbed by all of this.
But
Matt
of course,
leaves.
this
We're
would
just
only
like,
be in a fair exchange of.
this is how cannibalism works, right?
I feel like you should save that for Tuesday game.
No,
wouldn't
cannibalism is
wouldn't
only if you eat your own. So,
Yeah, but
I mean,
wouldn't
of
you
course,
eat
I'm
Dane
not going
first?
to
He's
eat
the
other
most animal-like.
halflings.
But Dane is the most animal-like at this point. He's the closest
True.
to a legitimate meal.
That is
very
true.
unsanitary. You don't want to eat me.
He might have
One
rabies.
trash panda. You probably. I hope you do. That's what we'll do if we encounter apes. We'll just put some alchemical compound in your mouth so you're foaming, and they think you'll have rabies, and then they'll. We're not messing with it. It's not worth the chance.
How's it going? Didn't you be a dwarf? Yeah, a raccoon.
Zach loves this way too much. Like, he's laughing so hard.
Talk to Dane whatever I want. Hey Dane, how have you been? Are you enjoying this adventure?
I don't know if it's just the microphone or if it sounds like that in real life, but
It's terrible.
it's awful. It's absolutely awful.
If I meet it in real life, I'm gonna rip its head off. I'll do what I do to my kids' toys. Remove the batteries.
You rip your
Permanently.
kids off, their heads off, and remove their batteries. First
If
of
they
all,
don't behave.
those are kids.
Now I can see why you want to poke triceratopses with sticks. I mean, jeez. Horrible.
That's child abuse, and those are android children.
So it's not child abuse then.
Well, they're android children. Haven't you ever seen that episode
androids
in
aren't
Star
people.
Trek?
Androids are possessions.
You clearly have not seen STTNG. Like, there's a whole trial. Data proves that androids are people, and that if you pull their heads off and pull out their batteries, that's child abuse. It's
That
all
happens so far in the future that like
So
we're
you're
still in
saying
the barbaric ages. It's cool that I did.
nobody is like woke enough to understand how bad you are. It's okay to be bad.
No, I'd do that in the future too. So
Ian, you're a barbarian, and I'm embarrassed that I follow your faith and do whatever you say.
my personal faith.
I mean, like,
You're joining my.
most of what I know about you is just what your dwarf tells me.
Yeah, I'm not sure that that's me, but
How do I
then
know?
again, you don't.
Right? How does
It's
anyone
a
watching know?
mystery.
I guess they don't.
Yeah.
They
So
don't know.
we all know to keep you away from our android children.
You should.
I mean, do you have a surplus of android children that you're particularly concerned about?
Why are you asking, Allah?
I'm just curious if you have android children that we don't know about.
Quote, curious, unquote. Sure.
I just want to know for no
Just-
reason whatsoever.
Well, I have a small android raccoon that I talk to with a high pitched voice, for one.
Uh-huh.
But you've
So
already met him.
you could remove the batteries from the Android raccoon quite easily.
But I would never do that because that would be violating his android raccoon rights.
I'm not sure Android raccoons have rights. Do
Yeah,
dwarven raccoons have rights?
Well, kind of, yes.
Oh.
Have rights.
We're
that-
getting into some really deep
That
moral
Android
conundrums
raccoon
here.
does not pass a Turing test, so
Wait, let's try it.
It could with
Okay.
Zach's help.
Here's what we're gonna do. You ask a question and you see whether I'm answering or whether the raccoon is answering. Okay, someone ask a question.
What is your favorite color?
Okay, was that me or was that the raccoon?
that was don't answer a question with a question.
But would a human do that or only an android?
Only something that just echoes.
That you see, it passed the Turing test.
If you're really concerned about that, I can help that raccoon with its echolalia for
you
a small
can't
fee.
tell.
Is it insured?
You don't.
All right,
Children.
before you start soliciting business here, Ian, who is a speech therapist, let's get let me get kind of a view of how you guys are organizing yourselves as you move into the jungle. All right, so
How long will it take to get to the temple? How many miles?
the temple that he's been talking about with the purple apes. Let's see, 1, 2, 3 is 1 day. About a day and a half.
Okay, so, and how hard would it be to walk near the Triceratops? You know, in the tall grass.
Well, with,
It's going to vary a little bit. They tell you for the most part, although it's not under the canopy, you're only going to have about 20 feet of clearance out to the tree line on either side. But there are going to be some places where there are open meadows. There are going to be some places where there's a swamp in the way, for example, that's about 3 miles across.
I think we follow the Triceratops because if the path needs clearing, he's going to do it.
If it's like a day and a half, it's not that inconvenient to not be on the Triceratops. Is that
No?
Okay, then I think if everyone else is okay with it, the plan actually seems viable.
Okay,
So we'll be someone guiding the Triceratops from the front.
okay, who's guiding the Triceratops from the front?
I can get on what backpack? You want to do it?
Sure, although, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say I probably have the most hit points and I can tank, but on the other hand, you are, or maybe Allah.
So put both of you up there, and then
You
we can.
You can talk to the Triceratops, and you might be able to even hide in the straw, but it's up to you, backpack.
There is.
I don't want to
bear
hide in the straw because if they attack the straw, that defeats the whole purpose.
and there's a bear trap in there.
Yeah.
Minor technicality.
Just saying.
But the I guess it doesn't matter with if Allah's gonna do the
Well, I think
thing on us.
But we need to it's better if Ulrich should be up front too, because if you're managing the Triceratops, if something else happens, you're not going to be free to do anything else other than manage the Triceratops.
Okay, we've got
Okay.
Albrecht now and backpack up at the front. Anybody to the
Mhm.
sides?
I think do we want to be behind or do a side?
Size is probably okay.
So I think the three of us will stick to one side.
Also, you guys have a lot of things where you can like point at people and zap them and shit. So you got like Hunter's Mark, right, Ala?
No,
Not
that was
anymore.
the dead character.
That was one character back.
Way to salt that wound.
Did we decide that we're going to stealth the whole way, or?
That's going to
No.
make it so that it takes us 3 days instead of a day and a half.
Okay.
So what's
So
Are
the
we
answer on
stealthing when we
stealthing?
feel like we're getting
Oh,
close?
I mean, how do you move quietly with the Triceratops?
Well, maybe not, but then if somebody sees him, they just see the
Magic.
Triceratops. They don't notice the rest of us.
Yeah, he's going to capture people's attention because Triceratops aren't jungle dinosaurs. They live, in open areas.
Yeah, I think that you can that backpack can hide somewhere in, say, my backpack, and I can just push the Triceratops alone, as if that makes sense.
That sounds like a fantastic plan. I'm going to stealth inside his backpack.
Okay, you hide in his backpack. Everybody else is out to the sides. You set out.
We're on the same side.
All on the same side. Yep. I'll switch back to my little view from the top. All right. This is what things look like from the top. There's the three of you out to the side. Two of you out front, although backpack is in Albrecht's backpack. So you head out. And so in the first 3 miles, you don't see anything. The trail that you're following is made of huge blocks of stone, but they are so old that they're no longer particularly even, and in some cases they're a little bit separated. So along you go, and then after the first third of the day, the ground begins to get wetter and wetter and wetter until you are basically splashing your way through a swamp. And you get to the edge of the swamp, and then Me puts a foot into the water, and it sinks down and down and down into the mud. And he pulls it up, takes another step, and the foot goes down into the mud.
Before we have a La Brea tar pit situation here.
Man, that's an ugly way of putting it, but yeah.
Yeah, we should. I don't know if I like this hole.
There's probably no way around the swamp, right?
Well, there is. I mean, it would take you a long way around, but you could certainly skirt the edge of the swamp.
So will it support? Can I poke at it with a pole, 10-foot pole?
Yeah.
Is it? I mean, how far down does the pole go?
The pole, in terms of water, it only goes about a foot. But then there's another like 2 feet worth of mud, which you guys could probably walk on without too much difficulty, but his weight is just so great that it's pushing down into the mud.
How far would it be to go around it? How many days?
You don't know.
Okay.
Now you're seeing. I mean, it goes to the northwest. It goes, and then it actually enters the tree line. The trees at that point are tall, sort of mangrove-looking things that have arching roots that go out over it. And then it's the same thing to the southwest. If you sort of southeast, if you headed back in the direction of Oba.
I'm wondering if we could knock some brambles and trees down to make a sort of giant snowshoe for him.
I think
it's
it
gonna
might
take
be
some
kind
very
of slow
large-
going.
Oh.
It's going to be very, very slow going if he's pulling his feet out every single time along the way too.
Well, that's why I'm saying like a snowshoe, which would spread his weight, and he can then.
Yeah, no. I'm saying I understand that
Oh.
that would work if you put something like that together.
All right, let's make snowshoes.
Okay, so you start making dinosaur-sized snowshoes.
Yeah.
Shoes.
Okay. So that's going to take about a day of work.
Cool.
So you're doing that, and
Does anyone have like exceptional perception that wants to be, keeping watch while we're all focusing on making dinosaur snowshoes?
Does anyone have halfway decent perception?
That was Steve, and probably not at this point.
is any one of you remotely wise?
Yep,
Okay.
quite wise.
What's your wisdom?
My bonus?
Well, have you got? Well, the next question is, have you got any sort of perception skill?
Yeah, I mean, we all have perception skill. Are you asking if I'm trained?
Look out for
Yeah.
creatures.
Are you trained in perception?
No.
Okay. So what is your wisdom bonus?
4.
Okay. Well, that's going to be probably better than anybody else if you wanted to keep watch.
Don't
Now,
look
if
at
you
me,
I'll keep watch. That's fine.
okay, so you're keeping watch. Meanwhile, Backpack gets out a hatchet and starts trying to cut down one of the immense mangrove trees. Steve, what have you got?
Steve is dead.
You're gonna,
Oh.
Slate
you're gonna
probably help. Steve
So
is
you-
dead. He fertilizes the soil. No. She'll help collect wood, I guess, for this endeavor.
okay. So you're collecting the wood chips that that Backpack is throwing off. Dane, how are you cutting down trees?
I am overseeing. Cutting down trees, not really my specialty.
Okay, so you're
He can
supervising.
assemble.
You're
Yeah.
supervising Slate picking up wood chips from.
No. I am planning. Is Peter Kai do? I am developing schematics, doing the important task.
All
of
right,
making
and then
sure-
Albrecht, what sort of weapon or tool are you using to make snowshoes?
I guess I will use actually. If we've got mangrove trees, then we've got the mangrove roots. So we might be
Yes.
better going at the roots than we are going at the trunk of the tree.
Actually, I assumed that was what Backpack was doing because she can't even really reach the tree itself. It's just the roots are easier to do. So
And I will use an axe, which I will borrow from Kurzum.
Kurzum, are you going to hand over Schrodinger's axe?
I don't really have an axe, though. I
Do you
have
have a
no
sword?
axe.
What do you
I have an idea, though.
It
We
sounds
have
like you're assuming, is what it sounds like. That just because
Oh, no.
he has
we
not.
have chain. We have a dinosaur. Why doesn't
We have-
the dinosaur
Rip them out.
just pull up a tree? Like
There we
Jesus.
go. Okay.
We still need to cut it into pieces, though.
All right.
Yeah,
So
but then you have the dinosaur smash it with his foot.
All right. So anyway, you pile yourself up about 7 or 8 mangrove trees before you can get me to stop pulling down trees because he thinks this is really fun. So you've got enormous amounts of brush, deep trenches cut through the mud.
Well, couldn't we just make a raft to put under his belly then, with the big tree trunks?
Sure. One minor problem with that is cutting off all of the thick tree branches that are attached to it.
Well, we'll just direct me to step on them to crush them off.
Okay, now you have 6 trees and 1 long piece of pulp. Let me ask just one more question. Backpack, do you have an axe on your character sheet? Or did I just assume that someone would have a hatchet?
You just assumed. No, I don't. I have a dagger
You got a
and
dagger.
a
Okay.
rapier.
All right, so you're using your dagger to get the wood chips that Slate.
I have a
Carries.
smith's tools and a mason's tools.
So you've got a chisel.
Yeah, so I can go. You can actually use a chisel to split
And-
logs.
And a spade.
I just have a hammer.
Yeah,
So-
if you've got a hammer and a chisel, you can split logs.
These are trees, though.
What do you think logs are?
Small pieces of
So
trees.
what I'm hearing is that we wasted a day trying to make these shoes, and
Well,
then just
no, I
failed.
mean about halfway through the thing is when you're surprised by the crocodiles that Ian has not actually been watching out for because he's been arguing with people about axes, and he's been telling the Triceratops to pulp things. So that's when the crocodiles attack, and there are 4 of them.
Oh, that's a
Backpack is not attacked by a crocodile because she is in Albrecht's backpack so that she can stand a little bit higher to whittle at mangrove roots. It's all really very pathetic if you think about it, but let's look for crocodiles going to be in the monster manual.
wow. This is
Very, very back, though.
And you know what doesn't sink in the mud? Crocodiles.
We
Right.
just got 4 shoes for that.
So all you
Crocodile skin shoes.
Oh wait, yeah, Ian, you have animal handling, right? You can wrangle them
Well,
up.
and strap the 4 crocodiles to the Triceratops.
Okay, so Slate, what is your armor class?
It is 18.
Okay, the crocodile misses you narrowly. Kurzim, armor class? Doesn't
With
matter.
or without a shield.
The crocodile rams up against you and starts rubbing its belly against your foot.
Aw.
On the other hand, Dane, somebody
Oh,
remind me, what do we? It's double damage with a crit, right?
Oh God.
Quarter damage.
Well,
Quarter
there's
damage?
normal damage, and then there's the scathing damage of the critique.
like when I said that it was all quite pathetic. That was scathing damage.
That was great.
I rolled.
That was vicious mockery.
It was a critical hit.
No, you double the dice roll and then add bonuses, so you don't double bonuses.
No, I know you wouldn't double.
Oh.
Bonuses. All right. So, all right, let's see what kind of damage Dane takes. So it opens its mouth wide, chomps down. 16. All right. So you take 16 points of damage,
Okay.
and its tail wraps around you, and it starts rolling down underwater. You've got the escape DC is 12, which you can try on your turn in the non-surprise round, and then finally Albrecht is attacked and is able to sort of jump out of the way because you were standing on tree pulp.
Okay.
Roll initiative.
$19.
6.
14.
All right. So Zach, what does Albrecht do?
Okay, how close am I to the Triceratops?
About 20 feet.
Okay, wait a second. Dane has been pulled under?
Dane is being pulled under. Yes.
Okay, then I'm going to go wail on the one that's pulling him under.
Okay, so you splash through. This is difficult terrain, so your movement is halved. So you splash through over to Dane, and you're just able to get there, and you can attack.
All right. I wail upon him. I roll an 18 and a 25.
Those are both hits.
Okay. 10 and 10.
Nice. All right.
Off the raccoon! Off the raccoon!
You actually kill it. So you smash it several times, and it releases Dane and then dies and starts floating in the water. Then the other 3 attack. So Slate, I got a 12. Sorry, a 14. That's a miss, right?
Nah.
All right, and then on Kurzim, I got an 11.
It's a miss.
And then finally on Albrecht, your crocodile follows you along, but it for some reason it's just not quite fast enough, and it snaps at you, and it misses very, very badly. All right, now we go to 14, I think, which was Allah. What does Slate do?
Slate's gonna just bring up her warhammer and use it against that one that's attacking her.
Okay.
Misses because I rolled a 9.
Okay, its armor class is only 12.
Well, that was my total.
Okay.
It was a natural 3.
All right, Ian.
I will smash mine with a warhammer, and I hit. I hit AC. Where'd it go? AC 19.
That's a hit. Roll damage.
8 damage.
Okay.
And then for my bonus action, I would like to cast Spiritual Weapon.
Okay.
And have it attack that same one.
All right.
And that's a 20. Wow, the Spiritual Weapon's way better than I am. And it does 10 damage.
Okay. It's still alive. Then we move to Emily. What do you do? You're still in Albrecht's backpack.
Yeah. Is there any close around where in Albrecht? Other than
not really within your reach.
Okay. Where is the closest one?
About 20 feet away.
20 feet. Okay.
Oh wait, I'm wrong. No, there is one that is right next to Albrecht, but it's the problem is it's you can't quite reach it without jumping out of the backpack.
Okay. Well, I will do a tumble out of the backpack and try and stab it through the top of its head as I'm coming down. One on it.
Roll to hit.
Oh no, 2.
Okay, so you jump down and jab your dagger down into the mud, and then Gabe, you come out of it. You're spitting water and
spitting water. The plans that I was drawing up are just completely soaked in the ruined, and I'm.
So is your beard. Your beard is now
soaked.
Completely
Let's
flat.
not call it ruined. There's
mud.
always recovery.
There's
I don't know about
mud.
the plans. I can fix this. What is going on? And I'm going to look and see. So, are there any of them that are particularly close to me? Like the one that followed Albrecht is kind of.
There's one that followed Albrecht over to be very near you. It's looking sort of puzzled at Backpack, who jumped down and stuck a weapon down into the water.
Well, I'm going to attempt to blast it with the Eldritch Blast as I'm kind of sitting up in just the shallow part of the water.
Roll to hit.
A 7 and a natural 20.
Okay, that natural 20 is a hit. Damage?
Okay. And we're rolling twice, or just doubling the dice?
Doubling the dice.
Okay, so it'll be 4 times.
Do you get
2.
that on a spell?
Yes, it's still an attack.
Okay, makes sense.
So it's gonna be 10 total.
Okay, it's still alive. And then roll initiative.
Damn it, Tom Tallis. This thing's broken.
You're rolling 3D printed dice? Oh, you've got a dice.
The tower.
Yeah. It does spit out the dice. A lot of people designed larger trays and stuff like that.
I actually just printed myself a larger tray.
Yeah.
So you can see one.
Of course you did. All right, Emily, what do you do?
Emily.
Good.
Sorry.
Emily. Okay.
So yeah, I meant to do this last time, but I forgot. I want to do a bardic inspiration on Albrecht because I saw how awesome he slaughtered that one, and I would be like, yeah, go team.
Okay.
So Albrecht, you have a 1d8 now to add.
Okay.
And
Go Albrecht.
huh?
Go
Yeah.
Albrecht.
and try and stab it again.
All right.
This is better. This is a 22.
That's it.
Okay.
This is the one that Dane shot.
Yeah. 11 damage.
Okay, you blow. You go in. You kill it. That's the end of that one.
Huzzah!
All right, and then the rest of them slide under the water and swim away.
Wasn't there only one left?
No, there's two.
Two left.
Mhm.
So they're leaving range with us. Can we take an opportunity attack on them?
No, because they're using disengage. So they off they go. They're underwater. You don't know where they are.
Clever girls.
All right. That's
We
the
got-
end of that.
Yeah. Now, see, if I had that figure, it would have been a much more dangerous threat.
Yeah, because it's very big. It's
Yeah.
almost as big as a Triceratops. Let's get back to making dinosaur shoes.
All right. So you guys.
Although we can make 2 of them out of alligators, which we know don't sink.
All right. So you.
Actually, we can cut the alligator in. Okay, so look.
You're going to cut a hole in the alligator. You're going to put a
in-
triceratops foot into the.
You cut,
Uh-huh.
you
Yeah, we're doing that.
cut them in half this way, right? And so you split them open. So you got 2 alligators, right? At like a half and a half, and then tie their like by the tail and the legs, and then bind them around the foot of the Triceratops, so it's walking on 4 halves of alligators, which don't sink, because otherwise alligators would sink in the mud all the time.
Typical Hammerstro plan.
Also,
I'm something.
Well, I was just going to say, anybody have any difficulties with that plan?
I feel like this whole plan,
Is it difficulty?
yeah, from the whole idea of swamp shoes for the dinosaur rather than just like abandoning the dinosaur, but
I will never abandon me. You don't know what it's like to be underwater with just a dinosaur to keep you company for 5 days.
it was a very peaceful river trip. I mean,
All right.
All right. I guess we're doing this.
we can put some wood in the shoes to stiffen them, so that this, the area of the thing.
we're gonna make a sole, a wooden sole.
Yeah.
Can we also just for funsies consider a plan that maybe we don't need dinosaur and Holocaust cloak for?
Okay. So we'll just see if that works. We've already spent half a day, doing it. We might as well, finish.
Okay. So with all right. So you try and combine your wood pulp, your branches, your flat mangrove trunks, a lot of crocodile organs, and soft untanned crocodile skin, and so you get what sort of looks like pom-poms on his feet, only they're bloody pom-poms, and so he puts his feet into the water and the foot sinks down, and then he pulls it back up again, and the pom-pom is now in the mud, and he has no shoe.
That is exactly what happens when I put wolf hoofs on my Shih Tzu. Put them on, you're like, now your feet will not get dirty on the streets of downtown LA. Perfect. Do. As soon as he goes outside,
And,
I'm
so
like,
you already knew that before this whole thing started.
yeah, but dinosaurs are different than Shih Tzus, and swamps are different than downtown LA. So I thought maybe it would be different.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a choice. Do we spend a day seeing if we can go around and bring our dinosaur, or do we just abandon our dinosaur and tie it up? I know what Backpack and Mai's vote is. What about the rest of you 2 dinosaur haters? 3 dinosaur haters.
feel like we gotta cut our losses at some point. We're just
Yeah.
not good with these big dinosaur things.
I sort of agree.
I'll be honest, I've forgotten what we're doing here.
All right.
We were trying to stop a curse, but instead we're just
Oh yes, that sounds like a good plan. Stopping curse. I
All
like
right,
that.
So you're gonna leave him here, or are you gonna take him back to Oba?
Well, we should leave him here. Maybe we'll find him.
he's
Do
going
we
to
have
be
any kind of
hallucinating and poisoned.
Do you have any magic, like we could track him or make him follow us? Like any kind of, call animals or tell animals what to do?
What spell is it? Tell animals what to do.
Don't even pretend there isn't a spell that does that in D&D. There's
I think it's
totally
Talk to
Farm.
animals and
farm
You
animals.
broken Matt.
Just chat with creature.
Casual dinner conversation with creature.
The one who bought the miniature. I mean, come on. He wants the dinosaur around as much as we do. All right.
the problem is though, if I tell the dinosaur to like hang around or come find us, he's gonna forget
Yeah. he's
within
forget-
like half an hour.
All right. We'll just tell him, good luck.
Matt, was the road here in a pretty straight line, or did it curve a lot?
No, it's in a very straight line.
Okay. I think we should just take a carrot and dangle it in front of him and point him back towards the village. With a note that says, please watch our Triceratops. There you go. Everybody's happy.
What
Let's
was
get
the
going.
note? What was the note that was on Paddington Bear when he was left in Victoria Station? Please look after this bear or something
Yeah,
like that.
please look after this Triceratops.
Okay, so
Send him maybe not in the direction of the poison village.
Well, we know there's a village there and our boat is there. So
Yeah, but everything they're going to feed him is going to be poison. He's going to be
so
hallucinating.
he'll just be tripping for 3 days while we're off doing something. That's fine.
either that or all that they're going to eat is going to be Triceratops.
And without me, what the hell?
That
We're
also
just gonna
solves the
have to cut
problem.
our losses, our tasty, tasty losses. Just get
Okay,
into this jungle.
so me the Triceratops takes off at relatively high speed down the road pursuing his carrot.
He's gonna tuck her out soon.
And you guys can turn around and get back to the work of going through the swamp.
All right.
Okay, so you go through the swamp. Now that it's already nighttime, so you're gonna you know what, you're not gonna have to make camp in the swamp because I don't want to go through all of the engineering that's involved with you guys camping in a swamp. So you just make it to the edge of the swamp, and you take out your tents, right, Ala?
We have tents.
Yes.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
Don't
we
like skins.
as
Who has-
best as we can in the swamp.
No, I'm letting you out of the swamp so that you don't try and build platforms.
Oh, thank God! I was gonna
and
say
stuff
because
like
we're
that.
gonna have to like climb onto the trees and attach our. No. Oh, we will set up our tents and get ready.
Okay,
the night.
and Kurzim, you've got tents. Somebody's got tents on their character sheet.
I have a tent.
You have a tent. Kurzim sets up his tent.
It's for 2 people, so
All right.
Hey, buddy.
come on in, Dane.
I've just got a bedroll.
This fur makes me real good for snuggling.
That's what.
I just have a bedroll also.
Actually, Dane, you're by far the worst smelling member of the party, having been in the swamp muck all of the way.
Well,
while
raccoons
being
clean
hugged by the-
themselves very well.
Someone has to brush his.
You think
Yeah,
I'm
but-
unsanitary? That is some kind of racism, or
And
species
someone has to
or
brush his
something.
coat
Like, hey,
tonight. Someone's got to brush his coat. So
All right, so you go to work brushing his coat. Who is on watch?
I think we're gonna take turns for watch.
All
Yeah.
right. Divided into
I will
3.
be on first watch.
All right, you're on first
Oh.
watch.
So
Nothing
get out
up.
of the tent and let me in.
I'll
No,
go on first watch too.
All right.
Okay.
So you
How
guys,
rude.
you guys circle through the night. Nothing happens. You wake up. You're on the edge of the swamp, and you can continue making your way northward. And so you go in the morning. You go 3 miles. Nothing happens. Then you go another 3 miles, and nothing happens. And then you come to a crossroad that is marked by, now at this point most of the the large stones have completely sunk into the ground, so you actually sort of have to look forward to find the next one. But you come. This crossroad is very clearly marked because it's 4 huge pillars, columns of stone, square columns of stone that are 7 or 8 feet across, and each one of them is marked with bas-relief carvings of animals. The one to the north west has a snake on it. The one to the southwest has a spider on it. The one to the northeast has a bird on it, and the one to the southeast has a crocodile on it. You guys are coming in. You guys are coming in between the spider and the crocodile.
Okay, so and we actually saw crocodiles. Did we see snakes?
You haven't seen. I mean, you've seen little snakes. It's a jungle, so at various times you've seen snakes shooting off deeper into the undergrowth, but nothing big.
Okay, so
I will step into the center and put some incense in my censer, and I will say, Goddess of the Crossroads, we ask for your blessing on this arduous journey to save the area and stop the curse.
Okay. And are you making a sacrifice of some kind?
Oh, burning incense. Yeah,
You sacrifice the incense. All right. So
I can. I mean, let me see what I got. I can give something
I'll
else.
carry a bottle of rum. I feel like that's a little bit more.
okay.
A dose of rum.
1 dose
yeah.
of rum that leaves you with 49. Okay. Nobody knows how much a dose of rum is, but you've got 50 of them, 49 of them.
I'll dig a little bit into the middle of the dirt too, and I'll leave like 10 gold pieces.
Okay. All right. So you've done that. Which direction are you going to be heading?
So, what kind of bird is it? Is it like a bird of prey? Is it like a parrot or like
it's a water bird, like a stork or an ibis, something like that.
So do we have any idea where we are on that map?
Yeah, you're roughly in the center of it. Remember, this is where the guy said was pretty close to the actual center on that map. The place with the purple apes is further north. So you do know that you would want to be continuing north to get to the.
So I think we head north.
Okay. All right. So you're heading north. You go in between the snake and the bird.
I'd like to do detect magic just because see if there's anything interesting.
Okay.
This is kind of a cool little site. As we're going, I can do it. Give me 10 minutes, guys. I do it as another ritual.
Okay.
Well, it takes me 10 minutes to burn out the incense and bury the coins
Yeah.
and all that.
All right. So you cast detect magic, and other than the magic items that your fellow adventurers have, you don't detect any magic in the place.
Okay. Very cool.
Um,
I'm gonna look for birds and snakes. Like,
All right.
be like, maybe there'll be birds and snakes because there was a crocodile from the crocodile direction.
all right.
There might
So
even be spiders somewhere in jungle.
Yeah, that's southwest.
So you go forward and scout out a little bit. You don't see anything particularly unusual. Then you make camp. You're following the same watch rotation.
Yep.
Who's on the last watch?
Do we have anybody who isn't going to watch because they need to get spells back?
Well, that's why we did the first one.
I can take last watch. It's fine.
Okay. So you guys know you've got 2 watches or 3 watches.
I think Chrism and I on first watch, and then Albrecht, and then
Backpack, and then
Backpack, yep.
Slate.
Okay, so you got 2 watches. All right. Nothing happens during the night. You move forward the next day, and you reach a bridge going over a river. This is a stone bridge, and it's carved with birds and serpents. Also, in the area, there are several stone spires and some worn foundations of what looks like it was probably an ancient village made of stone houses, but all of the stone is gone.
Okay.
How many structures? Like a
Uh,
handful or a lot?
A handful.
Can
maybe about 10 of them. They're all pretty much the same size, all in the neighborhood of about 20 feet by 30 feet.
I'll go look at one of the structures and sort of like dig around in the ruins a little bit, just poke around.
Okay.
The nearest one.
All right. You don't find anything.
Want to do that detect magic again, Dane? I guess I could if you want.
Oh, no problem, I can do it. You say bridge has symbol of snake and bird on it?
Yes.
And I assume kind of styling is the same way as before?
I'm sorry, say again?
The styling is kind of the same way as it was
Yeah,
before?
it's very much the same. I mean, what you're going through is an area that, 1,000, 2,000 years ago had some sort of big, highly civilized empire in it that has fallen at some point over the course of the 2,000 odd years. So
Could be interesting, but
you know that this is an area that's often referred to as being part of the old Stygian Empire, but not very much is known about that at all. You do find, when you detect magic, you find a little bronze figure of a monkey that's halfway buried. You actually have to dig for it a little bit. And it's about this tall, and the head of it seems to be magical, very slightly.
we will toss that to Curzum to show that I don't know what this is. It's a little monkey charm.
Do we want to identify it?
Do we have that?
It is a spell. I think we can identify magic items when we rest with them, kind of thing. Otherwise, don't recognize it. Do you? Well, I suppose at some point we need to cross bridge. Probably a good thing we did not bring Triceratops here, because that would be a whole nother engineering problem.
Yep.
Ugh.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it.
No, I did not mean anything by it. I'm just saying it is. Hey! This time we got lucky. I am not. There was no judgment. I'm sorry.
Well, let's let bygones be bygones and cross that bridge when we come to it.
Before we cross the bridge,
It's right there.
You already came to it.
we did have some stuff we didn't split up before.
Bitch.
All right, who's keeping the little monkey figurine?
I will hold on to it if Curzum does not want to. Otherwise, I will let Curzum do the honors.
All right, and you're just holding it in your hand, or are you going to put it away? What are you going to do with it?
Well, I'm going to toss it in a little belt pouch.
Okay, it goes, eat!
Yeah, hello?
Pouch or when you cross the bridge?
When he put it in his pouch.
No, and I pull him back out and I look at him and be like, all right, hello, little monkey thing. Are you okay?
It
Can I
doesn't
pat
say
it?
anything.
It said eek. And I stick it back in the pouch.
Okay. Head first, or...
Oh, actually, well, it's been a day since the thing. So I've cleared out my beard.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to kind of braid him in so he's poking out and he can look and see.
Okay.
Just into the beard.
Okay. So you secure the little monkey figurine. You guys go across the bridge. Let's see. That was day one. All right. So one more day, and something happens. And all right. Switch over to the tactical map here.
Now that you've angered the monkey god.
All right.
We
So
the monkey god.
you no longer have your Triceratops there.
Rub it in.
And I assume you're still following basically the same setup there. And so that is when the Tyrannosaurus, or it's actually
Jesus Christ.
it's actually an Allosaurus, but all that I have is a Tyrannosaurus. So the Allosaurus comes out of the woods and roars. Roll initiative.
If only we had another.
You guys putting your initiatives up there? Okay, great. All right, Allosaurus must be in the monster manual then. The chat room has been totally crying out for y'all's blood too, so this is gonna be.
They've wanted us to find an actual T-Rex for a long time.
It's totally like being in the Roman arena here with the chat room. All right. So Allosaurus, and I have only a +1 on my dex score, so I've got a 19. That Emily, what do you do? Oh no, Emily got a 13. I'm looking at the last round. Okay, so the Allosaurus jumps forward and tries to bite Albrecht, who is in lead.
All right. Good luck to this guy.
Oh Jesus! All right, critical hit.
Why did you something like that?
All right,
Seriously.
so that's 2d10 plus 4, so that's 3. It's 9,
Yeah.
18 plus 4 is 22. So you take 22 points of damage.
I go, ha!
See if it swallows you or something.
No, it doesn't.
Am I in its mouth, or am I, or is it, or just bite me and then pick its head up?
You're kind of in its mouth. You're in its mouth, but it's not big enough to swallow you.
Okay. So the first thing I do is I'm gonna. Okay, its mouth is not big enough to swallow, so I'm gonna climb around so I'm right behind its head. Because I can't figure out any way an Allosaurus could attack anything right behind its head.
The only problem is that you, as we said, you're in its mouth, and it's kind of holding on to you. So that doesn't give you the mobility to get around, although you could attack it still.
I'm gonna.
All right.
But okay. So I'm gonna whisper to Backpack, who's in my backpack.
Yes. Backpack knows it's there.
Right.
We're being eaten.
I'm telling Backpack to climb out and climb behind its head. This beast cannot harm you as long as you are behind its head. I can't think of any. Neither can I.
So wait, so am I also in its mouth in his backpack?
No, I mean, you've got teeth like right in front of you where it's chomped down, but no, you yourself are not. I mean, it's not big enough to totally swallow it.
No, but it's holding Zach, and where's his backpack relatively?
On his back.
Which way is his back facing? Like towards out of the mouth, or is it like hanging out?
Towards out of the mouth, yeah.
Okay.
It bit the front part of him.
Okay. I will give the Allosaurus 49 doses of rum.
So you're like, pass me the rum? What happens?
I just take it and shove it in there. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of crockery involved.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the difficulty of there is a halfling trying to climb out of the backpack at the same time you're trying to reach into the backpack while being attacked by a dinosaur.
He's going to climb out 5 initiative ticks from now. I'm just using my free action to speak and suggest she do that. So I'm going to use my turn to give the Allosaurus a lot of rum.
All right. Well, you can manage to get the rum out of the backpack over the course of your turn.
Okay.
All right.
I will yell, I have successfully distracted the beast.
I've got him. Rub his belly. Rub his belly. All right. So that was me, and then we got Zach, and then it looks like Ian. What does Curzon do?
How far away from it am I?
You are. Let's take a look over here. Let me scoot this forward a little bit closer. All right. So you're here. So we're going to say that's about 40 feet.
I'll back up 30 feet.
All right. So you are now
Reasonable.
70 feet away.
I mean, he looks like he's got this if he's just rummaging around in his backpack for crap, right? Like,
Candles.
do you need help? I'll say.
Yes! Please hurt the Allosaurus.
All right. I guess I will try to guiding bolt the Allosaurus.
All right.
So
What is that?
I've got I shoot my bolt, pew pew, and I've got a 18 to hit.
All right. What? That hits. Now I make a saving throw. Yes.
Nope, not with that one. That one I just
Guiding bolts just to hit. Okay.
yeah.
All right,
it's just
you
a-
hit
it's a
him?
hit roll.
Usually a spell's going to be either one or the other, so it's a
That's-
attack roll or it's a saving
that-
throw.
That's how you almost killed me. Remember?
Yeah.
That was great. And that does. That wasn't bad. 8 plus 12, 20 damage. That was really good.
Okay.
And now that it's wounded,
Mhm.
I will use. I say by the power of Mike Merles, and I cast Toll the Dead on it, and it is required to make a Wisdom saving throw. DC 50.
I don't think that's in the rule book. By the power
What?
of Mike Morals.
Well, that's just what I use to invoke that spell.
Oh, okay.
I
What
thought
is
you
it?
were a priest of Mitra.
Toll.
or
I'm doing
Muriel.
Toll the Dead. But I use that anytime I do cast something out of Xanathar. It's just
All right. Let's see. What kind of
needs a-
saving throw?
a Wisdom saving throw, and the DC is 15.
All right. He fails.
All right. So then he takes 15 damage.
All right. Okay.
And I'm done.
All right. Let's see. Who is next? It's
I think it's
Emily. What do you do?
Okay. Well, okay. So exactly how big is an Allosaurus,
I don't know.
Big enough to eat you.
but not swallow you?
They don't
I
tell
mean-
me the size in this
Working on it. Give me a second.
edition. I think they're about 20 feet long, but no, I think they're about 10 feet long. They're small. They're way smaller than a T-Rex.
Okay. So, like, about how tall might he be standing?
Zach is looking that up right now in an
How
older.
many fucking dinosaurs are in this book and they don't
Hold
have
on.
it?
If you use the power of the internet, you would know that it is a large beast.
That's it? A large beast? That's the best you can do with the whole internet, Allah?
Well, large is a variable spectrum. of
Let's
size.
look up how big
God
they
damn
are
it,
in
hold on.
real life.
Is it? Can't we just say it's as big as Matt wants it to be? And just, I mean,
It
does
is
its
as big
size,
as I want it to be.
does its size really affect what you're gonna do?
I've
Did I ask
heard that.
how, like when I was
Potentially.
shooting it with guiding bolt, did I
reference
ask how
sake.
long its shadow was?
It averaged 28 feet in length, though fragmentary remains suggest it could have reached over 39 feet in length.
What
But
is-
for reference, a large size is also horse.
Do you hear those crunching gears of this combat grinding to a halt?
All right, 30 feet. It's 30 feet long. So what do you do, Emily?
Okay, forget it. I will try and crawl out of its mouth.
All right.
Can I crawl out of the backpack, crawl out of its mouth, follow Zach's plan, and get behind the head?
Yeah. Roll an acrobatics check.
Oh, brilliant. I can do that. Let's see. Oh, maybe I can't. 13.
Okay, yeah, it would be a DC 20 to climb around to the back of a dinosaur's head. So you start climbing up. You begin scrabbling. You lose your footing and you fall down at Albrecht's feet, right next to the great big claw of the hungry Allosaurus. Who's next? Alla and Gabe. It looks like.
I think Allah probably goes before I do.
All right.
Slate is just gonna rage and run up in there and whack at its legs.
All right. So
Kneecap it.
here's the two.
Yeah, I'm gonna kneecap it.
All right.
Yeah.
Slate charges forth.
Like
I'm gonna
Tanya
use
Harding.
my-
Gran out, ready to smash it on the foot or the kneecap. Roll the hit.
All right, and I'm also gonna use the Great Weapons Master. So that's gonna be -5. Fine, that's fine. But I rolled the natural 18 to hit, so 20 total.
Yeah, that's a hit.
And then I'm gonna do that sweet bonus damage plus raging. So it's a total of
damages.
all the damages. So a total of 25 damage.
Ow. Okay. So the Allosaurus slowly topples forward, and the three of you guys rapidly get out of the way as it falls to the ground and dies.
Fantastic job, Slate. But you didn't let me get it drunk.
Well, that just seems like a terrible waste of both alcohol and dinosaur meat. And now backpack and try the dinosaur.
Well, don't encourage that. It is filthy habit.
Well, I'm trying it anyway.
Well, all right. So we will, it being 8 o'clock, we will end with you guys building a bonfire out of wet mangrove trees, pulp, and alligator guts, crocodile guts, to barbecue Bronto ribs like it's the Flintstones. And we will pick it up in 2 weeks as you guys continue on your way to rescue the area from the curse in unorthodox fashion as you normally do.
I believe you should name these episodes Heart of the Debacle.
Heart of the Debacle, yeah, there could be that. Alrighty.
Doing
Well, thank you, everyone.
fine.
Thank you for the game.
We'll see you later.